Alrighty, welcome back to the PCC podcast. And today we've got another coach's corner. Lots of coaches' corners lately, which I'm super excited about. I've got Coach Rachel here with me, and we are going to be talking about, I guess, an interestingly personal topic. But I think one that's going to help you if maybe you are in the consideration process of working with coaches like us at PCC. Maybe you are just a client of ours who is looking to, get more ROI out of your experience with us, whatever it might be. But we're going to talk about what we call the trickle effect, meaning how investing in your health transforms every single area of your life. And really, I think, when we say investing in your health, I think my mind at least immediately jumps to like a monetary or a financial investment, which of course, if you were to work with us, yes, there is a financial or monetary exchange to work with a coach. And we'll talk about our own experiences with that too. But I think investing is a broader term than most people realize, with just like where you put your energy and your time and how you prioritize you. Like, I think it's an attitude more than anything else. So we're going to be talking about that. So I think, why don't we just start with like some of the investments that we've made into ourselves, both financial and not, and how that's actually had an ROI on our personal journeys. And then maybe we can talk about like globally for clients too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, financially, I will say, obviously, I think I've shared a little bit even about just the mold journey and all
Yeah.
of the hormone testing and all of the fun gut testing, saliva testing, urine samples, all the things from this past year that I've had done. But at the end of the day, about starting about a year and a half ago, I guess you'd say, 2 years maybe, I did not feel like myself anymore. I would wake up and I'm like, I don't even feel like me. I'm exhausted all the time. I'm sick all the time. I feel inflamed. Didn't feel like myself. And so it took me investing in my health in that aspect to ensure that now I'm at the last stage doing this parasite cleanse, ensuring that I'm feeling my absolute best moving forward. And when I tell you, I don't know if I've ever felt I've had a couple of detox days here, but I've had so many days where I am the most clear-minded I've ever been. I'm able to show up for work and I'm getting through my work more effectively. And not only more effectively, I feel like I'm putting the most value out for clients that I probably have in the last year because I have the mental space to do so, the mental clarity to do so. I'm able to focus more. I'm just able to show up better on a day-to-day basis. I mean, there were points where I felt like something that really bothered me was my mood. I felt like I've always been such a like happy-go-lucky person. I just felt so irritable sometimes dealing with some of the mold and whatnot. And I'm like, this is not me. And getting that back and starting to feel more like myself has been game-changing because it's not only how you're showing up for yourself, but it's how you're showing up for everyone else you're around too. And I think ultimately tying that into coaching, I mean, I want to be able to show up for my clients in the best way I possibly can. And investing in my health has allowed me to do that. So that kind of touches a little bit on the financial aspect of it. But then just in this one aspect of things, also the demand and the time that it's taken,
Yeah.
the sacrifice that it's taken when, there's been so many social events and so many fun things that I've still been a part of, but I've had to make choices during those times in order to ensure, hey, right now I'm in this protocol that might be a little bit more strict, which obviously what we're doing is different from this, but I'm making these little sacrifices here and there to ensure that I'm going to feel better on the other side of things. I'm going to wake up every morning, choose to take my handfuls of supplements, choose to get my morning sunlight, have those slow mornings, do the things that might be boring, might be repetitive, but ultimately have gotten me from point A of not feeling great to now I'm at the end of the road and I'm like, she's back.
Yeah.
So it's really short-term sacrifice for long-term gain with things like that. But ultimately, just in general, it all comes down to the same thing, whether it is something that's like the mold or a true health challenge versus just choosing to show up for yourself on a day to day basis.
Yeah,
Ultimately, it's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be exciting, but it's going to impact every aspect of your life in such a positive way.
totally. Yeah. Well, let me make some inferences here. Like, for the person who thinks investing in their health, prioritizing their health is selfish, like, let's say, you went on some trips with friends and you decided, because I'm on this protocol, I'm going to skip gluten, or I'm going to skip alcohol or things like that. And it changed the way you made choices about your nutrition. Or um, maybe there was an activity like first thing in the morning, you're like, I'm going to prioritize like my slow morning. So I'm not going to come to that part, but I'll be there for the rest of the day. Like, is that kind of like a good example of some of the trade-offs you've had to make?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Especially, I mean, honestly, great examples. I think
Okay.
when it comes with down to like the food and alcohol and yeah, it's not selfish though. It really
Yeah.
is not selfish. You are doing, again, you have to think if you're unable to fill your cup, then you're pouring from an empty cup and you're not going to be giving your best foot forward. You're not going to be showing up for other people as I'm sure you would like to be.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for us, and our health is number one. So it is never, never, ever selfish to prioritize your health, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you, was like, do you think anyone actually cared? Do you think anyone noticed? Do you think that they were like, oh, Rachel's, being a party pooper because of these choices? Or like, did they actually enjoy your presence more?
Right, exactly. That was, yeah, that's exactly it. I don't think anyone even noticed half the time because
Yeah,
no one really cares. No one, everyone else is so invested in themselves that they're not really worried about if I'm having a drink. And, I mean, it is what it is. I think people, if you have good friends, they are not going to care about that. I can tell you that right now. They're just glad to
totally.
be with you. So, yeah, definitely not
Absolutely.
selfish.
Yeah, no, I love that example because I think it's like your investment in yourself. Like, yeah, okay, maybe it starts with a credit card swipe of like I pay money for this thing, this test, this coach, whatever. But like how it actually shows up is like how you change your choices every single day, and those choices, like they really do shape just like how you feel, how you act, and things like that. And a lot of times it's like exposure therapy. Like you need to actually do it to like break the belief of like people are gonna think this is weird. People are gonna, this is gonna take away from my life. The belief that it's a take rather than a give. Um, so yeah, I guess for mine, well, I've invested a lot of money into myself for different reasons. Business mentorship was what kicked all this off in the first place. Um, I've told that story a couple of times, but like when I had been coaching for about 5 years, and I stumbled across a business mentor that said you could, double or triple the impact that you make with like a couple small tweaks to your systems. And I was like, what? So this person ended up, I convinced myself, but I'll say they ended up convincing me to empty my savings account. I had about $11,000 in my savings account at the time. Super proud of myself for it because, like, most of America is just in debt, which I was like, yeah, I'm like, how old was I at the time? I was like 22, 23, 20, 23 or something like that. And I was like, I'm like making it. This is awesome. Emptied it out because the program was $10,000. It was like, well, we'll see. Would not have traded that investment for the world. Like that was the best decision I ever made, honestly. But that, plenty of that with the business, investing in knowledge, investing in skills and guidance, and being able to be the leader and coach that I am today. Certifications, right, things like that. But for my health, I've had many, many fitness coaches throughout the years for different goals. Um, and that's also been a monetary investment that I've never regretted. Like there have been some where I've been like, it was a fine experience or a neutral experience, but I never regretted it because it took something off my plate. And for someone who really values my time, like that's always worth it.
Agreed.
Um, but I think one that stands out, like an investment in myself that actually stands out a lot, just because it's probably very top of mind right now, is running. And that's free. That's just time.
Yeah.
But like I said, I value my time and I'm paying with my time for that because, when you're running long distances, like that adds up. A 10-mile run is like, 2 hours or something like that. Um, so that has been an investment of time that I've really valued lately because it broke a lot of beliefs around, you know, the time that I could make for myself first and foremost, like just the idea of going on an hour long run or an hour and a half long run. Like I felt like I don't have the time for that. I'm too busy. Like that was the excuse in past years where like I was like one day I'll run a marathon, but I think I'm just too busy right now. I can't dedicate like 2 hours on a Saturday to run. But like it really kind of opened up to me that it's all about choices. It's all about like you have the 2 hours. You're either choosing to like and to be honest, the funniest thing is like Aaron and I will laugh about this now because before on a Saturday I would just sleep till 10 a.m. Like and I would just be so tired from the weekend. I would sleep till 10 a.m. and we'll get back from our run and it'll be like 9 a.m. We've run 10 miles and we're like awake and on top of the world. And we're like, dang, we wouldn't even be awake right now. That's crazy. So I think that was an investment recently in myself that didn't really cost much, a pair of shoes, a race registration, but something that's meant a lot to me that's made me show up better for definitely my clients. Like I can tell you right now, the check-in days that I'm fresh off a run, I'm showered and I'm doing check-ins, I am on it and I am there for them. And the days that I like pull myself out of bed and I like have to splash cold water in my face to wake up and do check-ins, like I'm not the same person. So
I feel that.
I think that's an investment that really stands out as of
Yeah.
late.
You sort of
But
volume.
not to downplay the financial ones either, because they have all been transformative too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great example. You've literally had so many great things to say about how positively running has impacted your day to day life and how you honestly wish you could do it even more. And what are you,
Yeah.
2 days out, a day and a half out now from the big
Yeah.
race?
Yeah.
Part one. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. But no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very awesome. I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be a financial investment for it to make a massive difference in your life.
Mm.
Like you said, it's just the daily choices that add up. I think one that came to mind when you were saying that is, and it's just a daily choice, is I know and I notice with myself, if I have mornings, that's why I keep this on our weekly meeting goal, not to look at my phone in the morning. Because if I
Yeah.
wake up and look at my phone in the morning,
Mm.
my energy levels throughout the day are trash. I don't feel great. I'm pretty meh all day. Just kind of blah is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Um, but if I follow the plan I have set for myself every day, not looking at it at least 30 minutes, my energy throughout the day, my ability to show up for others, my dopamine stores are not depleted. So it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But again, just a little choice you make every day, even when it's not the choice you might want to make, or the same thing
Yeah.
at night, scrolling on your phone at night. Instead of doing that, I challenge you, think of future you when you're about to scroll on your phone tonight.
Yeah.
That's your first challenge.
Ooh, you know what that makes me think of? Um, so actually this does tie to a financial investment as well. So where did I say? Oh, I said this on episode 100 where you guys asked us questions about like turning points and things like that. Um, and like I said, I've invested many thousands of dollars in mentors and things like that. And this past year, I've not been shy about the fact that like business wise, it's been very hard. Just dealing with turnover, building the right team, finding the right people, and just like cleaning up systems and processes and things like that. Um, and I will say like about a year, I guess a year ago exactly was when like all of the change started. And then we kind of had a period of like maybe 6 months where we kind of stabilized but we were plateaued in a lot of ways, not just financially or revenue wise, but like a lot of ways after stabilizing after all that. We were plateaued. I was constantly stressed about money and making like paying the bills and all this like really really stressful around like my quality of life was being impacted by the business. And I knew something had to change, but I was just scared to like not even get burned, but I was just scared to invest more when I felt like I didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the cash flow technically to invest, but that's the thing about an investment is like you like some of the people that work with us, like they don't have all the money, but they find a way, and then how it pays them back in a lot of ways, even relating to career down the road, like it actually does pay itself back. I've had plenty of clients that have received promotions because they have more capacity and mental clarity, and it comes with a bigger paycheck that eventually does come back around. But, for that particular, I remember like entertaining working with a mentor, and I was just so scared because I was like, we don't have the cash flow to justify this. But if I don't make an investment, then I stay stuck in this situation where like my mental health, everything's being impacted by the fact that the business is stuck in other ways. And so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. And that was a big turning point where the first thing that mentor had me do, like a 5-figure investment. and and the first thing that I was supposed to do was a dopamine detox. Because it had nothing to do with business systems. It had nothing to do with, go audit this or that, or, let's work on these systems for this staff member. It was you, the business owner. And I love that about this mentorship is it comes back to taking care of you as a business owner. And that's what brings you the success in your business and your ecosystem. And I have an episode on the dopamine detox that we can link in the show notes. So I won't go into it in detail, but it was no phone first and last 30 minutes of the day, no scrolling, no caffeine, no alcohol, no TV, 10,000 steps per day, and maybe a couple other things. But it was extremely a big shock where I was like, this is the first thing you want me to do? I just paid you how much? And this is the first thing you want me to do? And the first 48 hours, terrible, mood swings, mental breakdown, caffeine withdrawal, not fun. After the first 48 hours, I was like, oh my God, this is what focus feels like. This is what clarity feels like. So I guess like 2 points there. Number one, sometimes you have to invest because the cost of inaction is higher than the cost of the action itself. And then two, again, like it was pointed back towards my health. It was pointed back towards my mental clarity, my focus. Like even that kind of an investment came back to, no, your health is the most important thing. So that was really interesting and
No,
fun.
it's such a good one. I mean, seeing you go through the dopamine detox, I'm like, I know you were not having the best time those first couple of days, but on the other side of it, you were like, wow, that was incredible. And it's one of those things that you do it, and yeah, you're not going to never do caffeine again. You're going to watch some TV. You're going to look at your phone every now and then. But at the end of the day, you've brought probably so many of the habits you picked up from there forward with you, and you probably feel so much better because of that. Yeah, it's incredible. That is one that I stand firm on. Anyone who is scrolling, especially
Mm,
scrolling or looking at a screen in general, before bed or first thing in the morning, start there and just see how much improvement you'll notice.
totally. Yeah. And hopefully, right. Excuse me. Hopefully, what this episode has done for you is maybe not just like, oh, yeah, I should spend my money on a coach. Like, would we love to work with you? Yeah, absolutely. Will it be worth it? Heck yeah. But like audit where like your habits are also costing you, and like scrolling, caffeine, how you're taking care of your health or maybe not taking care of your health, and what is that actually costing you, not just in like, oh, I don't like what I see in the mirror, but like your time, your money, your relationships. Like what are you buying instead of investing in yourself? Like are you buying extra clothes or makeup? Are you like looking at skincare treatments and facials and massages that you think are going to make you feel better, but it's not, right? So I think just remembering that there is a cost to everything. And really, I hope what this episode does is like encourage you to just reflect and introspect and like really see where you're putting your time, your energy, your money right now, and asking yourself, is that serving you?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, you're never going to look back and be like, wow, I'm so upset that I spent money bettering myself. No.
that's
So,
that's one way to put it. Yeah. You're not wrong. No, that's great. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I guess we'll keep it brief with that one. But hopefully, yeah, there's the personal stories were helpful, and it just gave you some things to chew on and to think about how you're investing in yourself, how you're choosing yourself on a day to day basis. And yeah, if you do decide that you want to work with us, we're here, we're ready, we're excited, and we'll help with all of those habits that we just talked about. So
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to put Coach Rachel's info in the show notes if you want to reach out to her, ask questions as well. And again, remember, if you have not already entered the giveaway and you're not driving, go ahead, 5-star rating and review for this podcast on Apple and Spotify podcasts. By the end of the month, we will draw one winner to win a $100 gift card to a vendor of choice. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you back here next week.